Hey everybody, it's Jena and Bean and Shanice from Space Cadettes. Hi. All right, so I'm gonna start off. I've got a big question for you guys. What is it that you are currently reading that has you just like deep in it, where you're just like, oh, I'm going to read this forever? Bean, do you want to go first?
So I'm currently very deep in something that is not a comic book, but it is a manga.
Okay.
Which I am deep in Berserk right now.
Oh, nice.
And I am like at the point where I'm just like really vibing with it. I think I'm about halfway through based on I'm reading it on a website. And like so it's just like by chapter. I think I'm about halfway through and I am obsessed with that completely right now. Have you guys both read that?
Yeah, I think I haven't finished it, but I remember reading like a good majority of it and then watching it, and yeah.
It's really good. Super good. Very good.
It's becoming quite the classic, yeah.
And everybody was like, oh my goodness, like once you get to, which if anybody's listening and like hasn't read that one before, Berserk is about a guy named Guts, who is the saddest and also strongest man ever, who uses a giant sword. And the whole, like, basically everything I've read so far has been like his tragic backstory, him finally getting to a point where he's like, oh my goodness, I found family, I love this. And then the eclipse happens, everything goes wrong. And it's like, it's sort of medieval with like demons and stuff. And so I've been really, really enjoying it. But Shanice, what have you been reading?
So when I was going through books today, I actually read, because it's my first time reading this book, Justice League #1 from 1987.
Ooh.
I read it because I thought the cover looked really cool. It's Guy Gardner, of course, just being his jerk. That's why I love him. But yeah, I read the issue. I'm like, oh, I want to read more of this. I've never actually got this far, like some of like the runs from like the 80s and 70s, like featuring certain like DC characters. So I definitely do want to like make my way through that run because like that lineup is really interesting. Like Black Canary, Shazam, Martian Manhunter, Guy Gardner, who's my favorite Green Lantern, which I know might be controversial because other people like despise him, but
there are reasons though.
Yeah, like he's a jerk, but that's why I like him. And yeah, I really liked it. It was a fun issue, and it still holds up at like decades later, which is great.
So Guy Gardner to me is Cyclops to Miss Jen. Like it's not so much hate as I really don't like him, and I'm gonna let everybody else like y'all can go look.
I believe that he's the Green Lantern in the Human Target run that's been coming out. Mm-hmm. So anybody who doesn't like Guy Gardner should read that book because he's in it. Does not do very well.
Oh my god,
it's really good.
So I'm currently reading two things. One of them it's a manhwa, which you can find on like Webtoon and stuff. It's I may be the evil stepmother, but my stepdaughter is so cute. So it's this chick who's a designer for kids' clothes in like our world, and then she gets hit by a truck and dies. And she gets reincarnated as the evil stepmother to Snow White when she's still like 7. And she just wants to dress her up in all the cutest clothes. And she just was like, how dare anybody try to insult her? I love this child. And she's also in the middle right now. She's trying to make it like a good relationship between the kiddo and the dad, because the dad just sort of ignores her, because that's apparently what those days kings did to their princess. They were just like, oh, it's just a daughter. And the stepmother's just like, you love her as much as I do. Do it. And she's using her evil mirror as like, she's like, did you take snapshots of her in her new dress? Wasn't it so cute? I loved her new dress. And then she also, she's like, did you record her first dance with her father at the ball? I need to rewatch it 1,000 times. So she's using her magic mirror as like a cell phone. Because any reflection works too. And I absolutely love it. But the other thing I'm reading that's like actual comic book form is, so Deceased is finally coming out in trade form. So I'm going back and I'm rereading those. And I absolutely, I will die on this hill. This is one of the best overall everything story arc that DC has ever done. Like, it's right up there with Blackest Night. Yeah, it is amazing because it's literally every DC character ever versus zombies or becoming a zombie. And it's absolutely outrageous the way that they did how Superman, because Superman can't get bit by no zombie, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so it's already been 2 or 3 years. So for anybody who doesn't know, giant spoiler for Deceased coming like right now. I don't know if you guys have read it. So the way that Superman becomes a zombie is the Flash becomes a zombie and he starts spinning around the whole world, right? Just biting people like crazy or eating people like crazy. And so Superman starts spinning the other way, so that way they can just like cross paths. So that way that was the only way they could destroy the Flash as a zombie, was for him to go through. Well, the force was so much that a bone of the Flash ended up cutting Superman and he becomes a zombie. But instead of going around eating the world, he goes up into the sky like he's going to like go to other worlds and eat them. But every lantern from the Green Lantern Corps, everyone across all sectors shows up to stop him. And you see this moment of realization in zombie Superman, and he's like, no, I can't do that. So he turns around, he goes into the sun and just starts eating it. Because there was another storyline where Superman spent like 10,000 years or 1,000 years or something like that in the sun absorbing it, so that way he could become like ultimate Superman. And so he's just like, oh, I'm gonna go eat the sun and become ultimate zombie Superman. And you're just like, oh no. And so what happens is all the survivors, except for like a pocket, that Swamp Thing and Poison Ivy make a pocket of like plants and stuff that protect the city. And it's got like Harley Quinn, Swamp Thing, Poison Ivy, and a couple of handful of other ones in there, along with some city people all living in this like plant city. And then there's everybody else gets onto a spaceship and goes to another planet. And so you have like Superman's kid, you have Batman's kid, you have like everybody's kids, like the step down, like all the sidekicks, right? They are now taking up the mantle of the superheroes. And they decide, oh, we're getting a signal from Earth. Maybe we lost somebody there. They're going back and they just find parts of Cyborg, who is the one who started the whole zombie thing because of Darkseid. So yeah,
how does it all start? Like, how is there a zombie outbreak?
Okay, so Darkseid takes Cyborg and then traps Death for a second, and he uses Cyborg to trap Death because he thinks he can overcome Death by killing Death, and Death is like, nope, and then downloads a virus into Cyborg and sends him back to Earth, where anybody who takes a picture of him or really looks at him sends out the zombie virus.
Oh, so it's like a psychic thing, kind of like a.
Yeah. So like people are like, oh my God, Cyborg's missing his arm, and they're all taking pictures. And as soon as they take that picture, they're infected. But that picture also spreads across all technology. And it's crazy. Batman's one of the first ones to get, yanked because it pops up on his computer as this thing of Cyborg, and he like traps himself in a thing so that way he doesn't kill like Alfred and all the other Robins and stuff like that. But they had already been turned except for one or two of them. So he's like, well, this is how I died.
So wait, why does the Flash's bone have to cut Superman to make him a zombie?
Because nobody can get through Superman's skin. He's impenetrable.
It's his eyes and his brain, right?
All of him, every part of him. But yeah, Superman is completely impenetrable until actually a piece of him is in him. Like it becomes regular zombie rules after everybody in the world gets it. Yeah, so I'm at the part where they're coming back to Earth because they heard a signal and it was actually Cyborg. And Cyborg's like, I'm not infected anymore. It's like, yeah, but you're just a piece of face right now.
Mm-hmm.
I love this series. And the art, the covers were so cool. Every time one of the books came out, they would do like a horror movie poster one.
Ooh.
I'm sure Jay will throw up some of them around here. But that was the one that I always got. It was like the movie poster version of whatever DC horribles was happening. On that note, with Superman going up against the Flash, that is a crazy. I think that's probably the only way the two of them could ever meet up is by like speedster style like that. So I want to know what your guys is like hero versus hero, and I mean across like anything, hero versus hero. What would be like your perfect matchup? Shanice, you want to go first?
I gotta think about it because there's a lot of like interesting combos. So I'm still like hot potato at somebody. Hot potato.
Bean, do you have one?
I'm just trying to think of like the most ridiculous one I can think of, and I'm struggling. Let me look at your bookshelf real quick. Let me see if I have some inspiration if I look over. Okay, this might be an easy one, but what if Batman had to fight Alfred? Like, what if they literally just had to like, and like, I don't know if it would be like, because obviously I feel like if like it's just like a fist fight, but like if it's like long term like espionage sort of, like conflict, that's a little tougher.
Oh, I can see it. I can see this. Oh my gosh. So like Batman goes too far one time and Alfred has a contingency plan for Batman.
Yeah. Just like, gotta take him out, you know?
Use that MI6 training.
Yeah. Which is Alfred always like a trained ex-spy, or is that like a thing that comes and goes?
I think that's a newer thing.
Okay.
I think. Shanice, you still need a minute?
Yeah.
Okay, well I've got a great one.
It's really interesting though, because I could see Alfred like just like guilt tripping Batman hard.
Oh, yeah.
The only person who can do that to Batman and actually get away with it. So when Batman's mad, just Alfred just brings out blammy blammy, just Batman or something.
Because I'm pretty sure Alfred's the only person that Bruce Wayne would like let down his guard a little bit around, and that would be the perfect moment to be like, "Hey, do you want some turkey with a side of poison?"
Thanksgiving themed murder.
Yeah. Sorry, I was for some reason my brain remembered that Damien has a pet turkey, so I was thinking Alfred like accidentally cooking said turkey, sprinkle a little poison on there for Bruce.
This is where Alfred has actually gone insane. That's why this conflict's happening.
Oh my gosh. Does Batman have a contingency plan for Alfred? Got for everybody else. We're all doomed. Zombie Alfred's going to take us all out.
Jena, who's a mashup that you want to see?
So my two aren't really heroes. They're two crazy people. Mine is going to be the Joker and Oxymoron. Like,
Man.
who can out crazy another crazy person, right? But then like both of them both have that intelligence level of like they can plan out things. So I just want to see like, I don't know why, I really want to see the two of them just like a smile off for a minute there and then let the contraptions roll.
That's awesome, because immediately I'm imagining like the Joker having one of his like big schemes and everything, but then there's an Oxymoron in the scheme, and so then Oxymoron comes in like mid Joker scheme and things start going like his way and actually it's his scheme, and like because they're both people who like are villains that have like ridiculous like crazy plans. Be awesome.
And they both have that like weird smile to them. And I feel like that would make a really great cover where it'd be like half of Oxymoron's face, half of Joker's face, and they have like the smile, and you're just like, oh.
That'd be awesome.
So I think I've got it now, but I think Jena, you're gonna have to help me out with this because you're the valiant queen here. I would like to see the Crow versus Shadow Man.
Oh,
because I was talking about the character like with someone yesterday, and he was telling me about the character Shadow Man, and I was like, oh, this dude sounds really cool. And it's like the way he described him, it reminded me of the Crow and Spawn a little bit.
Yeah.
So that would be fun to see them interact. Like they could just have the cliched like misunderstanding fight, and then like we're on the same side here.
Yeah.
Shadow Man's a really interesting character, but I'm sure Jena, you could. If people
okay. So Shadow Man is in fact my favorite character of all times across any comic book. Next to Gert. Like if we're talking about like serious books, his is it. This is my favorite character. Been around since I think the 80s. So Shadow Man is based in Louisiana, mostly like closer to New Orleans, and he has what is called a Loa. So a Loa is a spirit or a guardian from the dead side, which is pretty much hell and a little bit of limbo. And his job is how to simplify it? When things escape from the dead side, he has to return them. When there is a war breaking out in dead side, he has to go say, "Stop it!" But there is always in the most chaotic way to happen. I think the one that I'm thinking of, his name is Jack Bone. Oh, I can't pronounce his name. Oh no,
Jack Bone.
Bonafide. Jay's gonna have to put it.
Jack Bone is a great name. That's a killer name.
Boniface. I think that's how you were supposed to say it. That's how it's spelled.
Mm-hmm.
He's the one. Well, he didn't know that it's passed down generational, and he didn't know that his dad didn't just leave him. His dad actually got stuck in the dead side. And the way that he gets the Loa is his dad actually is dying. He's losing his power because he's been trying to protect. He's been protecting the gate from the dead side to our like Earth side, and his dad is slowly losing his power because he's been down there for like 20 or 30 something odd years, and you can only stay in hell for so long before you kind of lose yourself a little bit. And so then the Loa starts coming to him, and he ends up meeting his dad in hell. But yeah, so he's pretty much like not quite guardian of hell, because Jack himself really doesn't want to do anything or doesn't know anything about what he's doing, but he's really good at it. And then, so yeah, that would be, they could definitely be like, Shadowface could be like up on Earth trying to catch something. And then it would be like, oh, you're from hell. Like, no, you're from hell. And then, yeah, I think that'd be really cool.
Cool. I'm glad I picked a good one because I was thinking about it. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Oh
I'm
my
sorry, it
God.
was Shadow Man versus, because I wasn't familiar with either of those characters very much at all. So it was Shadow Man or Shadow Face, as we are referring to him as, against who else?
The Crow.
I don't know the Crow's backstory at all. I don't know anything about the Crow, so that's why I was like, wait, who?
So I'm gonna be like completely 100. Like I read like the original comic like years ago. I'm really overdue for like a reread of it. But like the movie is also very, very good. It's just super nice. I mean that in the best way possible. But yeah, it's definitely at the very least check out the movie. It's so much fun.
So you haven't seen the movie at all, Bean, right? Okay, so I'm about to blow the producer dropped it already. Darn it.
Well, I know about the whole thing
Oh,
of
okay.
the actor dying.
Yeah.
From it. That's all I know.
And
That's
it's crazy.
all I
This
know.
is the son of Bruce Lee in
Yeah.
this movie. And then I think the actor had to like do like 10 minutes. Another actor had to step in to fill in like maybe 10 minutes worth of filming. And then don't watch the other ones, the other movies. That's just my personal opinion.
Mhm.
Just watch the first one.
Okay. Cool. I didn't even know there were more movies than the first one.
Pretend like you still don't.
They never did. They only made one.
Yep. One great movie.
Oh man. So I'm imagining one, and I know that like this battle is in my mind just because of comic book covers I've seen. But Gertrude for My Hey Fairyland versus Spawn, who is being transported into Fairyland. And I'm imagining it because of the Scotty Young Spawn covers. And I love them.
I think Spawn would be so mad.
Would he be able to get out of Fairyland? Probably not.
I mean, that's a lot of puzzles he's got to do, but no, I don't think he could. I'm going to ponder this for a while.
Yeah.
Well, now I want Image because they can totally do this.
Mhm.
They could. I think they have a hint of it in crossover.
Oh, do they?
A little bit. So crossover is literally every character across everything, and Spawn shows up. Even Batman showed up. Technically, he was in the prison at the very beginning. Gertrude could technically. It's still an ongoing series. Somebody call the writers and the artists of crossover and say, "Hey, let them meet. Let's do this."
Be awesome.
Hashtag Gert versus Spawn. Let's go.
I feel like they would end up teaming up in the end, though, because they would both want to get out of there very quickly.
And then as soon as they were out, somebody would be mad. Like, I hate you. Yeah, well, I hate you. I'll never talk to you again. See you at dinner. Bye. Because she's like 30-something years old inside the body of an 8-year-old. So when they come out, she's like 30-something years old. Be like, hey, dinner? Oh, I just thought of another one too. So Livewire from Valiant versus Dr. Doom. Do you guys know Livewire? I know. Okay. So Livewire is this amazing character. She's actually behind Bean in the window.
Oh God!
On the other side. On the other side. I'm sorry. So she has the power to control all of technology through electricity. Versus like Dr. Doom. We all know Dr. Doom, right?
So that would be.
She has a very high moral like sense too.
Yeah. Man, I don't know her, but just from what you just said, her versus Iron Man, especially if she's very like by the book and very like Tony Stark is not at all. So like Tony Stark, Iron Man versus Livewire, which also now I really want to read about Livewire because she sounds super cool.
She is so amazing. She only has one trade for her own standalone story, but she does, I think her first like major storyline, it was a story called Secret Weapon. Where, so in the Valiant universe, the way somebody gets powers is they pretty much get electrocuted in the brain until something unlocks, because only some people have it, but you have to like unlock it. It's very painful. Well, this group of kids get unlocked, and the person, Toyo Harada, is in charge of the company, doesn't like their powers. So he puts them away in this little center. Right? One of them like talks to birds. Another one can like control rope or something like that. I can't remember. Like it's kind of like superpowers you wouldn't really like use in like as a superhero, like a big superhero. So since Toyo Harada didn't like this, he can't like use them for their powers. It's like 4 or 5 kids. He sticks them in this center, and then like a year later, they sent a bunch of assassins to just clear out the center. And these 4 or 5 kids got away. Well, now the assassins is still hunting them down. Livewire finds out about this and goes to try and find the kids first to try and help them accept themselves and to protect them. And it's really cool the way that they're just like, well, your superpower isn't anything. You just make technology. Yeah, she shows that real, like she shows them up real well on that. And it really helps the rest of the kids to be like, huh, okay, I can do this. I can talk birds into pooping on people. But yeah, so that's I think that was her first like main big storyline. And then she had her own run for a little bit. And then she showed up in Divinity. So yeah. I really like her.
I really want to get into the Valiant like universe and everything. It just it's just on the reading list. very, very long reading list.
I'll have to start picking that for some of my picks of the weeks, huh?
Oh, please. I know it's supposed to be your pick, but I would love that. Like, it sounds awesome.
Well, I already have this week's plan, but we're going to have to talk to that later.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to take a quick commercial break, and hopefully Jena will tell us more about the Valiant universe during that break. We'll be right back.
Imagine being at a convention and going to an interview panel that's just for you. No bustling crowds, no hours-long lines, just you, the moderator, and your favorite comic book creators. Well, this is pretty much that. Miss Jen sits down every week with 2 comic book creators for a live stream interview about their latest work, and you can ask them whatever you want. It's Talking Shop, Mondays at 5 Eastern on The Experience, Comic Culture and Sales.
Welcome back to Space Cadettes. Hi.
I was going to say, if you guys are hearing little tapping, it's because my dog is just, I swear I didn't give him like an energy drink. He hasn't had any Red Bull, but he's just very excited today. The theory floated over the break when we were talking about it is that he's upset because I haven't watched Moon Knight. That he hasn't been able to watch Moon Knight yet. So, but yeah, if you hear little taps, it's just ASMR doggy nails in the background.
I think it's because I was giving my dog a bath today in the pool outside, and he was just running around in circles. And then when Han got out of the pool, he was like, "You're out of the pool! I saved you by circling the pool."
Yeah, I really think that he was like, my friend is in danger, because he hates being in the water. He can't swim, hates the water. So then he was like, my friend. But
yes, Doug, you saved him by circling the pool.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a little baby pool. It's just a little baby pool with maybe this much water in it.
Yes, but you know what? It's dangerous because it's uncomfortable to be in water, according to him. So, all right. So we can keep talking about like hero versus hero. Maybe we could switch over to like villain versus villain. Like,
I did say mine.
that is true. I think like, and that was one thing is I kept thinking of like, oh, this person. I was like, oh, that's like anti-hero. Because I love, because like Gert is kind of anti-hero, like I feel
I
like
wouldn't consider her a hero or a villain or an anti-hero. Yeah. She literally just wants to escape from fairyland, and that's it. She's not saving nobody. She's killing the moon. She literally just wants, okay, she did save that one person, but that was by mistake. She just wants out of fairyland. Oh my gosh.
Now I'm just trying to like think of people with like contrasting, like we were talking about like Livewire versus Iron Man, where it's like two heroes with like totally different skill sets.
Yeah.
Oh my
gosh, there's so many. There's just so much.
And like who could go up against Superman besides Zombie Flash? He's
from The Invincible. The Invincible. Omni-Man, is that his name?
Mm-hmm.
Omni-Man versus Superman. It's basically Superman versus Superman, but one of them's older and evil. But is that a word? Anyways, so Omni-Man versus Superman. Can you just imagine? It's literally pound for pound, exactly the same person, but one is not good and older and has taken over other planets already. So I think that's pretty much like on par right there.
It's also happened in the comics too, especially in Kingdom Come, but essentially Superman versus Shazam, because Superman does have a weakness to magic, or like, at the very least, it will like he is like vulnerable to it.
Yeah.
So Shazam, like, well, how many? Sorry, I just saw something from our producer. I thought it was related to the topic with something else. But yeah, that'd be a fun one, Shazam versus Superman again. So like actually Shazam out, not like Shazam, because that's happened in Injustice, and I was really sad.
Yeah,
I don't want to see that again.
I'm pretty sure Zatanna has taken out Superman very easily before, if I'm remembering correctly, just because magic. And the only way to stop her is to just not talk. But at the same time, she's so powerful. I think she at one point got to the point where she actually didn't have to say it out loud. She just had to think it.
Mm-hmm.
So Soups is super weak to magic. And I have no idea why.
So, sorry, you said Zatanna how does her magic work?
She says a word backwards.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And it happens. Anything.
So she
legit anything.
As if I would have a pizza right now if that worked.
Yes. She is actually one of the few survivors in Deceased also. Where her, Constantine, monkey detective. What's his name?
Monkey detective?
Is it Chip?
Detective
Please
Chip.
help me.
Detective Chip?
Is it Detective Chimp?
I believe so, yeah, Detective Chimp. Hold on.
So they team up.
Yep.
Yeah. In DC, they team up to go and try and save the world. And that is by far the craziest team up I've ever seen. Constantine versus Spawn. I want to see that. Because they're both kind of sarcastic. And they're both kind of magic. Pretty sure it would just be a lot of monologue of, oh, I don't think so. Let me light the cigarette. Be like, no, bro, it's time for fight. Can't do a British accent. I'm sorry.
A lot of curse words. So many curse words.
Be a very mature comic.
Shrink wrapped in plastic to make sure kids don't read it.
So I'm trying to think. I've got this. What I kind of want to see is I want to see the Red Lantern Corps, all of the Red Lantern Corps, right?
Mm-hmm.
Versus the League of Doom. Like, can you guys just like, can you even imagine just going in and really pissing off somebody from the Red Lantern Corps? They come in and just annihilate Earth And the Legion of Doom's like, bros, come on. We're both on the same side. And the Red Lantern's just being like, no, feel my rage. I don't think any of the like groups could team up to take out the Red Lantern Corps except for the other Lantern Corps.
That'd be awesome.
Dexstar. Oh my gosh. Do you guys know who Dexstar is?
No.
It's the cat, right? The red lantern?
It's just a cat. It's a regular cat that becomes a Red Lantern. And is one of the most vicious Red Lanterns out there.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome, though.
If I ever meet somebody and their cat's name is Dexstar, I'm going to walk away. I wish we could be friends. But we can't be friends. Goodbye.
I'm trying to think of like a mashup because we've been going like super strong, like super buff, like this would be an epic battle. What now? I'm trying to think the other way of like two, bless their hearts, maybe not so strong, like, and I mean, and like not necessarily like they don't have strong powers, but maybe even just like heroes that aren't the best at using their powers. I'm like imagining like Polka Dot Man from the Suicide Squad versus someone where they're just kind of like, I guess we're gonna fight. We're gonna fight. We have to fight.
But we did Polka Dot Man versus like the first Spider-Man movie, Tom Holland Spider-Man movie, Spider-Man. Like he's still just learning his stuff. He's still a kid versus Polka Dot Man. And them being like, what are we doing here, man? Just Spider-Man just being like, I don't know what we're doing, man. What are we doing? Polka Dot Man just being like, kill me. Please. Please kill me.
Oh man. Oh no, it's not from a comic book, but I'm just imagining from One Punch Man, the bicycle hero.
Oh god.
Where his whole power is that he's on the bicycle. It's so wholesome though.
It's so wholesome and so terrible at the same time. Mm-hmm. I love it. Shanice, do you have any like weird side ones like that?
Oh no, I actually saw a really interesting one from our producer, Condiment King and Paste Pot Pete.
I don't know who Paste Pot Pete
I don't.
is.
He just made those up.
Did you know Condiment Man actually killed Jason Todd once?
No.
He filled his helmet with ketchup. And he couldn't get it off and he drowned in it.
No.
Yeah.
That didn't happen.
I mean, it was technically a fake thing. He was faking his death, but that's not the point. At the time, you thought it was real.
Oh my god. That's like a different level because it's like a different meaning for the Red Hood. Like, and then filling it with ketchup. That's gross. Imagine drowning in ketchup.
Great, just the smell of it too. Like all that ketchup, I would just.
Goodness.
Okay, so our producer just told us Paste Pot Pete is a trapster.
Is Paste Pot Pete real? Is that a real character?
I don't know. Are we being played by our producer right now?
I don't know.
I know where you sleep at night. Better not be playing me right now. Somebody fact checked him, please.
Or just picturing like some like Richard like just go up to Marvel and just demand like just like proof that this character exists. There's no way. Like why would you waste this like ink on this character if it exists?
Well, I mean Condiment King.
The Condiment King, like, you know, like it just sounds like we thought he killed Jason Todd via ketchup drowning.
Actually, I would believe something like that. If you're going to wear a helmet that covers up everything, that's really hard to get off because you already have a mask on underneath of it, somebody's going to drown you in something. I'm just saying. Because that's because he has a mask on and then he has his helmet on. And it's really hard because it locks into place. So, oh my God, that is real.
Just Jason being extra. I love him.
Did you guys see the chat?
No, not yet.
Take a second and look at the chat. Our producer has proved us wrong. This is some really good Photoshop of this. Is like he went up against the Human Torch.
Oh my goodness. Insane.
What is he holding? Is he holding a bucket of glue?
Yeah.
Okay, you know what? I can't spend any more time on this character. I believe it is now time for Pick of the Week. This week's was Bean's pick.
So my pick of the week was Mirka Andolfo's Sweet Paprika.
Oh, yeah.
Ongoing series. They're gonna have 12 total issues of the series, and currently 8 have been released. But I gave these guys the first trade, which is 1 through 6. So it was the first half of the series. If you guys had time to read the whole thing, which it's 6 comics, don't always have time to sit down and read all that every week, you know. So, but
This trade was so good I couldn't put it down.
Yeah, and I have loved this. It is about, main character's name is Paprika, and she is like a very high-powered like CEO, #girl boss, and she is a devil in like a world of angels and devils. And it is interesting, like I feel like now that you guys have read it, you kind of get what I mean when I say it's not like it's an important distinction, but it's not like a huge distinction in the world, like in the universe. Everybody like kind of has stereotypes, and like it makes a difference, but it's not like, oh, we're at war, you know. And she is basically she's single, has only ever had one boyfriend, and
Terrible.
Sorry, what?
He was terrible. He made me so mad.
Yeah, he's the worst. He's the worst. And she is at a point where she's getting over that relationship, even though it's been a while. But for reasons we might discuss, he is still in her life. And she's trying to kind of like, I don't know, get back out there and like sort of discover herself as a woman and as, you know, as a person, and figure out what kind of relationship she wants, while also juggling all sorts of other stuff. So I love it. What did you guys think?
I have a lot to say. So Shanice, do you want to go first?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
So with Sweet Paprika, when it was first announced, I got excited because I like the writer and artist. What I like about it, it's a really fun book. It's funny. I love the art, and what I like about it, it's like it's a very like sexy book, but it's not in a way that you normally think about, like, you know, sexy comics where it's just like so over the top, or it's just kind of like it. But with this, it's like, oh, it's fun, and it doesn't like super focus on certain parts of the anatomy, which I really liked. But I absolutely dig it, and I want to keep reading more of it. But I know Jena has a lot to say about this book, so I'm just gonna just zip it and just.
I do want to give this book a trigger warning for anybody who has had the type of parents that have like made you suppress your own emotions or made you suppress your own feelings and thoughts. That I feel like that I didn't see that. I didn't know about that until I went into the book. So yes, that is a big trigger warning for anybody out there who reads this. And I'm going to tell you why. Her dad, in the very first couple of pages, she had her dolls and they were kissing, and he was calling her a degenerate, or like the W word, like just because she was playing with her dolls. And he was like refusing, like he wouldn't even hug her mom or kiss her mom. And he was like, that's why people think of devils, you know, if we were angels and pure and stuff like that. And that's kind of what like set the mood on what it was like for them when it came to like demons and when it came to angels. And then it fast forwards to years where she's grown up, where she's, what was it? COO, creative officer, something. I don't know.
Mhm.
I can't remember. And all of that, she has to work through that. Her dad's also like a head judge, and things happen, which I thought was really funny the way they played that out. So, spoiler, he has a heart attack, and she goes with her mom to the hospital, but they're talking like he's dead, and she's wearing all black. She's like, oh, I'm so sad. Like, if only he would have talked to us. And then he screams, I'm not dead. You're just like, okay, wow.
Oh man. Yeah, it's so interesting. Yeah, that whole dynamic of her, like I said, working through everything, and then also growing up with her parents, which her parents are divorced when she's an adult. When she was a kid, they were together, but as an adult, like, and so it's really interesting too to see her relationship with her mom, who is like very open, very much like, girl, you need a boyfriend, like,
Girl.
let's go get you somebody, don't keep being by yourself. And then her dad, who's like obsessed with work, wants her to also be obsessed with work. But then, and I don't think it's not that much of a spoiler because it happens only a few issues in, but it turns out that the dad is not practicing what he preaches as far as being really abstinent and being really, like, you know, behind closed doors. That's not who he is.
Okay, so the delivery boy that's in the office always has to be wearing his sunglasses, right?
Mhm.
Right? And his adopted dad is a demon who, the abomination of food that man was making still makes my eye twitch. Okay, mashed pizza?
I was so shocked because earlier this week, Jenna came up to me and was like, I need to talk to you. I'm so mad about something that just happened in this book. And like, there's so many scenarios in this book where, you know, you would be upset because her ex pulls some really shady stuff.
Yeah.
This other girl that's sort of like his accomplice and all this pulls really shady stuff. Like, all this bad stuff happens. And like, then Jenna's yelling about mashed pizza, and I was just like, that didn't even register me. Like, obviously, it's gross, but like,
Paprika is like between like the delivery boy and her couch, and then her mom walks in and is like really chill about it. And her mom's like, I guess maybe because she's remarried and has twins, and she's like loving with her husband, where she's like, oh, I see you're seeing my daughter. And it's like, let's put a towel on that first.
Yeah. Well, and like, even from the very beginning, even when her dad is like super strict on her, her mom's always the one who's like, yeah, no, like, that's fine. It's natural. It's good. Like, you have to have that in your life. Like, you can't just pretend like you don't have needs, you know? So yeah, it's
Just, that's totally fine. Everybody has needs. Totally understandable. But if your mom walks in, put a towel over you or something. That's all I'm asking.
And I don't know, Shanice, if you've gotten to the part of it where it really starts, because I will say I don't think it's a huge spoiler, because if you've seen any of the covers of the books, it definitely sets up the dynamic of the fact that it's a like kind of a love triangle thing between Paprika, the delivery boy, Himbo, love him, and like other, like the demon who is the devil, who is like, huh?
Is it Zatar?
Yes, Zatar, who is also like a CEO of a movie company, because she's like the CEO of like a book publishing company, and then he's this other guy that's like the big like CEO of like all these movie productions, and they're trying to like work together. And like, I'm so, as of right now, where we are at in the series, it's definitely doing the long game on that, because I still don't know which one I want her to end up with.
I don't know either.
End up with, like.
So I'm gonna be completely honest about why I really like what I've read so far.
Mm-hmm.
It's giving me the rom-com that I haven't gotten in a very long time from actual films. It's like, maybe that's why I dig this so much. Like, oh, this is giving me more explicit Bridget Jones.
Yes.
Like, so much.
Yeah. And I think it's also because it's rom-com, but in most rom-coms, especially like, you know, big Hollywood movies, there is like a very clear, this is the one. Even in Bridget Jones, like you knew the hot dude from The Office. You knew that was.
I don't know. By the second movie, I didn't know. By the third movie, I wasn't sure. Like,
I didn't like the second and third. I was good with the first. I was like, that's enough. I love
the third one was funny. Not as funny as the first one, but it was fun.
Yeah, but this one, I really don't know who I want her to end up with. Like, because a fellow like high-powered super, person who is very interested in her, and then like the fun guy who's kind of helping her understand a different side of herself.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you guys think?
Okay, I don't know, because I feel like the delivery dude has been interested in her since the very beginning as well. Like, it's weird. It feels like both these guys have fallen for her for a long time, and she's just now picking things up, which is very personal to me.
We need more himbos winning. So I'm rooting for the himbo myself. I need the delivery himbo to win. The paprika. I shouldn't say it like that because she's still like a prize. But I want her and the himbo to be together.
Hashtag himbo for the win.
Yeah, I think that's where I'm leaning towards. Just because, like, she has the high-powered thing, like, on lock. Like, she's good at that. She's got that covered. And, like, I feel like he definitely, like, brings out a good side in her. But I do not know, like, where this series is going to end. And I really think that it's going to end up being, like, a very realistic thing of, like, they're going to kind of show who they really are. So...
I don't know why is he like, are his parents like one angel, one demon, and that's why he has to wear sunglasses?
That they do long game on that one too. I don't know.
Oh, like he has to have his sunglasses. Like that's the thing. If he's not looking down, you never see his actual eyes. Right? And also his little angel puppy.
The puppy kills me. Oh my god.
Oh, so adorable.
And the dog's name is Bean. So it's I'm in there. It's just me.
You're just in the room where it happened.
The dog is so cute. Oh my god. And I don't know. I don't want to discuss it in detail. It's so, but like for anybody who's like has read the series and is keeping up with it, so the delivery boy, which I can't believe I can't remember his name, but I'm terrible with names. He gets the most epic moment where they're at the restaurant. Like he has the most epic moment where you're just like, yes, like he just does exactly the thing, like where you're in a movie and you're watching it and you're like, one of these characters needs to do this and they never do. And he does it. He does the thing. He does the crazy thing where he fixes everything and it's awesome. So Shanice, you got to keep reading until you get to that part because you're going to be like, yes.
I changed my mind. I'm voting for himbo. I think his name was Dill.
Dill.
Dill. We'll call him Dill.
Yeah.
He did the most respectful thing I've ever seen in a comic or in a movie. So she comes out stupid face drunk and like drags him to bed. And he's just like, let's put the blanket on you and get you some water. And she's just like, you're turning me down. And he's like, you can call me if you're sober and still want me, but don't forget to drink your water. And I'm like, that's respect. Now it is time for my pick of the week for you guys. Yee. So you guys have heard me talk a little bit about this series and you've heard me talk about this character a few times. This is Cinderella Serial Killer. It's 4 issues. I have all 4 of them right here in my hand. Not all spicy covers, just a couple of them. And I'm super excited. So this is actually her standalone. It's called the Voodoo Slumber Party Back to Magic School. And then it just goes back to GoldenEye Cyclops is what they call. And it's going to be her jumping around to different dimensions, killing people. Deadpool style, but with less clothing.
I'm sorry, what did you say the full title of it is?
So each issue has its own side title.
Oh, okay.
But it's called Cinderella Serial Killer Princess is the main one. It's 4 issues long.
Okay.
And,
When you started like Voodoo Slumber Party, I thought we were like doing a throwback to the 90s where like, you know, like whatever, like the third horror movie installment would have like an insanely long title.
Yeah. And that's kind of what they did with this. They were thinking like they went with like 80s, 90s style like naming. So the first issue is called Cinderella Serial Killer Princess #1 Voodoo Slumber Party. The second issue is called Cinderella Serial Killer Princess Back to Magic School. So yeah, they kind of went with that sort of style with these issues. There is a twist halfway through the last issue that's gonna make you so mad, but then so happy. It's always been kind of weird. They've never done a second part to the series. She shows up later on. I think the series wasn't so big. They never put it in a trade form and they never reprinted it. And I've never figured out why. It's one of my favorite series. I've done reviews on this. I've talked about it to my heads, like, you know, faces, the hair color, it's the same. So many people die across all of the Zenescope universe. So many people gonna die. And so what's crazy is a lot of them don't come back in the main series.
Is this like a continuing story, or is this just like a series of individual? Okay.
It's 4 issues, and they all like it's 4 issues. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's one story, and I really wish they would do more. Oh, it's so good. I want some more. Oh my gosh. I can't wait because like the style that they do it in, you guys have seen the Zenescope covers of like sexy, bloody, deadly things. This is the same on the inside.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm really excited to read it.
I'm super excited. Like, oh my gosh, I really can't wait. I have most of this memorized. And this is also mature. This was one of the first ones they ever had to put an actual like label on and it wasn't for like outfits and like sexiness and stuff. It was for how gruesome and bloody and like some of the kills are in it because she is really, really out there in her thought process when it comes to how to kill people creatively.
So we're going from reading Sweet Paprika, where she's having fantasies of one kind, to Cinderella Serial Killer having fantasies and great ideas of a different kind. Not great ideas, interesting ideas.
And acting them out. So yeah, that's going to be, oh my God, I'm so excited for all of you to read it.
All right, this has been me, Bean, and Jena, and Shanice. We are Space Cadettes, and we will see you next week to talk about more comic books, and then get distracted and talk about movies, get distracted and talk about anime, and just get distracted and talk about our dogs, and
then ask about how working with Doc Ock is.
Yes, yeah. If I haven't gotten blown up since, I mean, you know, henchman pay isn't great, and, you know, the working conditions aren't great. But so hopefully we'll see you next week. All right. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.